Jace, I must say that polo you're wearing really fits you quite well.
What, this shirt?
Yeah, like I don't know. You been working out, mate, or is it just the is it shrinking in the washing machine?
Who knows?
Mate, I was going to say before we get into this, you seem to be you're a superhero, mate. You've done everything. You've travelled the world. You've been everywhere.
I haven't travelled the world yet.
Mate, every corner I walk into, you seem to own like some sort of beauty salon, or you work at somebody.
Look, that was a family business. So I was helping them out. And look, I've obviously worked many places, and people think that I don't work at this place. I don't know what I'm doing. I can tell you, oh gosh, where I started, which was back in the day, which, whatever legal age it was back then, I was at Macca's. Within a couple of months, got promoted to career trainer, and obviously people were jealous back then. I actually got left with black eye. Not many people know that.
Why? What happened?
People were jealous because obviously I got promoted. And
do you reckon it's due to age?
Could be that as well. The guy that bashed me was actually someone that I worked with, like shifts all the time with, closing shifts.
Really?
Yeah, and just out of nowhere, boom.
Out of pure jealousy?
Yeah.
Mate.
I actually moved stores to Lakemba. I've been 2200 Bankstown.
Bankstown.
That's where I was born.
2200.
It's home. Back in Bankstown. But, after the amount of years, I've moved up here, and it's different. I told everyone, like, people ask me, why'd you move up here? Have you been here before? And I said, no. Funny thing is, I've never been to Queensland. Been everywhere in Australia, except for Queensland itself. And the main reason was obviously my godfather passed away back then in May 2017. But months before that, leading up, I was at school, so my school was just around the corner. All Saints Senior College, really good school. Back then it was senior college, it's all changed now. It's now co-ed and whatever they changed it to, I don't know. But today actually marks 5 years since I graduated. Wow.
Mate, I'm about the same too. I think this year's been my fifth year, and it's cliche, you listen to people that are much older than us.
Oh yeah.
But it's true what they say, that the older you get, the quicker time goes. I can't believe it's almost Christmas.
I know, like sitting back a couple of months ago, I started in August.
Yeah.
And now it's just like how quick it's going past.
Mate.
You just close your eyes and you just don't know.
Mate, I mean, we could go on about this all day.
I know.
But,
exactly.
the crux of you being here today, and I really appreciate you being here, boss man.
That's right. I'm not your boss, all right? Stop thinking I'm your boss, all right? I'm not the boss man. you just love saying that, and that's why I call you princess or, buttercup.
On, mate. But the premise of you being here today, this is season 3, episode 15, is going over the topic of volunteering. And I know you do a lot of volunteering. I know I muck around with you with your SES. But honestly, man, it's good on you for being so involved with the community. And I think a lot of us, people in society, we are so closed off to the idea of putting ourselves out there and trying things out, especially when there's no payment.
No.
You're putting up your time, you're going, why would you do that? Now for yourself, going back a little bit before you got into this volunteering, did you find that before volunteering you were struggling to find that sense of purpose? Do you find it brings you a sense of purpose?
Well, let's say, look, I've been, even before the emergency services, I've been a volunteer for a very long time. It was very different back then.
Yeah.
Like, I was volunteering at the age of 15, I think.
Wow.
Before that. So, but, before that, what made me want to get into the SES, funny thing is actually, so they have this festival called the Children's Festival.
What's that?
So it's my old Scouts group, and it's basically celebrating children. Festival for young people, more the kids' age at the time. And it's a very big festival. I think they ran 5 festivals a year. And I was part of every single one. Oh gosh, the amount of ones that I've been to, it's not funny. But that's where I started. And the main one at Bankstown, I always saw the security guards, always saw the SES. And I said to one of the guys there, I said to him, mate, one day I'm going to be in the same uniform as you. His name's Stuart. Look, he was part of Bankstown SES, great bloke. Out of nowhere. Joined the SES back in 2016, and that was when the Picton floods hit. It was the worst flood that I've seen in New South Wales since I was alive. And I said to him, one day when I get old, I'm going to join the SES. It was funny as well, like people don't know what my background is. Even before military service, I was actually very heavily involved in youth, very heavily involved. I've been a youth ambassador, I've been a youth chancellor, even youth chairman. So that was before I took over the chairman role at the end of 2016, when the councils merged together, and what it's now called City of Canterbury Bankstown Council. So I became the youth chairman, and I unfortunately resigned because I moved up here. But over the time, like the current policy, well, they've probably changed the policy, but at that time we were doing research on the 2017-2020 youth action policy for New South Wales Health. So we were heavily involved in that, where I was a facilitator with a group of kids, and it was just surprising, because the previous research that was done in New South Wales at the time, which was probably 4 years ago. So I did the research in 2016. So 4 years ago, there was less kids there. There was 80? But at the end of the day, half of them left, 30 of them left. And that was what I was told. But throughout the whole day, in 2016, when I did it, there was about 120 kids.
Wow. You're volunteering.
Yeah. 120 school students come along because they want to be heard. And this is what I tell people.
So do you think it's more or less they're getting involved because they want to vocalise their opinions on certain things?
Well, look, I think that it's important to young people, the next generation. Like, we have to understand how we work together with the current generation, our seniors, all of our current generation. Like, this is the hard part, and youth aren't heard. If you look at it, suicide rates are increasing, and it doesn't stop.
Why do you think that's the case?
It's because people don't have an understanding of what's the feelings.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot myself, and that's another time to go through specifics.
Oh, no. I'm not going to ask you to do that.
Yeah, but over time, the main thing I've found is the emotions of it. If you really think deeply, always seek help. And that's the important thing, because if I didn't seek help, I wouldn't be where I am today.
But, like, what made you, because it is a similar sort of question for me asking you about what made you make the jump in volunteering in all these different organisations. But to have your voice heard and to express how you're feeling, it's easy to say it for yourself now because you managed to do that. And, like you've mentioned to me, that you'll be able to openly express this sort of stuff to your close friends and family members and all that sort of stuff. But how do you make that step, mate?
It wasn't easy. Like, I just thought, I'll give this a go. Gave it a go, and over time, it's life now. Because young people aren't represented as much, Like, you look, my age now, and I go, look at these kids these days. Like, you look at them, they have no guidance, they have no respect.
No. And
when you look at it, like, I'm not blaming it. It's because people aren't being heard. People that are younger than us aren't being listened to. And it's just that perception.
Well, that's the thing. You could be really good. You could go to uni, do really well, like get your 6s or 7s and like high distinction. Yeah. And you come out qualified and you work in the field that you've done your degree in. But because we're like, you might be at age 20, 21, 22, doesn't matter how good you are at your job. You look at someone who's worked in the industry for 5 or 6 years and they'll look down on you.
Oh yeah,
I do think it's a massive problem that there's that age differential. And if you're above someone who's old, who's older than you, they don't really want to be working in that sort of environment.
That's correct. Because they think less of you. A lot of young people now just want to get things done. Rush. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do here. Left, right. But do you really slow down and think what the reason why you're doing things for?
But that's the thing, is because like there's so many people that are actually succeeding very well at our age. Yeah. And we're going, I'm so far behind from them.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, we're running our own race and we've got to do what's right for us rather than looking at what everyone's doing around us.
That's right. And a good example that I've used is gears, like a cogwheel. Gears, you have a big cogwheel and you have a little small one. Your mind is that little cogwheel, and it's just the same thing as the bullying example. that small cogwheel, you're spinning twice the amount of time, but that big cogwheel is not even moving. Nothing's moving. But if you think smart and you change it, instead of spinning that cogwheel fast, you're actually spinning it. What I've been told is you spin that cogwheel slower, the bigger cogwheel goes faster.
That's it, because it's actually like I can see that. Like this is the first time I've heard this analogy, but I can see what you mean, because the slower you go, the more
you think about
the thought processing
is
taken away, and you actually have a better understanding of what's going on.
Well, that's where it comes to you analysing everything. Everything I do, I analyse it. But the other thing is you don't overanalyze it, because you overanalyze it, you think. And then it drives you nuts. That's right.
Freaking out.
And we've all been in that situation.
Oh, yeah, man.
You know, I've been in it for, let's just say, so many times, you know, but have a balance of your lifestyle. I know, and you've probably seen it, how busy I've been, you know, with the rain and being a duty officer and, you know, having the team members call me, like, it's just crazy, because I'm at a contact center and I take SES jobs as a caller, as a call taker. And I'm getting these people harassing me when I've told them, message me, because you should know that I don't answer the phone. If I need to, I'll call you. Yeah. But you understand, the duty officer is the person at the time that's in charge. Unless it's something urgent. If it's not, and it wasn't urgent at all at the time. And that's what people need to understand is, other people have lives. You know,
it's not just revolving over that.
Exactly. It doesn't revolve around you. And that's one thing that people need to understand, or just anyone needs to understand, is it doesn't evolve around you. You know, like you told me about your story about your scar, you know, and that makes me think a lot, you know, because you've had an injury, and not many people would be like so relaxed and go, oh, you know.
Well, this is because my approach, man, is like, why am I going to play the poor me card? Because no one did this to me. I tried to do a goose step playing touch rugby league in a non-contact sport and hurt myself. But do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to just ride the wave. You know, like if you're producing more negative energy on something that's already been done, it's not going to change it.
That's right.
So why not just make the most of what you can do with it?
Oh, the other thing that I'd say, another good example is like you're surfing, right? Those waves, you've got to control it. You've got to take a hold and control your life. Like, don't blame other people. And this is what a lot of people do these days. They blame the other person for it. Like, I've been blamed for shit, and it's not right. No. Just like a tidal wave, if you can learn to surf, that means that you can control your life. And that's why I say in my activities, extracurricular activities, you know, not only am I a SES volunteer, but I'm a rural fire service volunteer. So, you know, when it rains, I'm out there, you know, with the SES, but when it's bushfire season, I'm out there, you know, helping my community. And a lot of people go, why do you do that? Because I want to help my community. I want to give back to my community.
That's good, man.
You know, I don't want to take advantage of the community. I want to support the community. And you get so much out of it. Like, you feel like you've actually helped someone.
Accomplishment.
But even if, like, some of our jobs we turn up to, like, it's more education. And I love to educate people, and I tell them, you know, just make sure it's simplest things like clean your gutters. You know, obviously there's people that won't be able to get up on a ladder anymore, but making sure that you arrange for someone to come and assist you.
Like, hey, I was going to say as well, because I know you've got, you know, I've got a tattoo myself, and it's got a bit of meaning behind it. Yeah. And for me personally, I wouldn't have anything on my body if there was no meaning. Yeah. I know you've got a tattoo on your wrist.
Yeah, and
what does that mean to you, man? Well, what is it? I mean, for people listening to the video, I mean, people can see in the video.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, the first one here is the dragon.
Yeah.
Now, my culture is Vietnamese. I don't have Vietnamese last name, and I actually changed my last name because I didn't want to. You know, I don't have a good relationship with my father because of what he's done. But I've moved away and I moved on from it. And this is the thing, I recognise it. Yep. But this makes sure that I remember my culture, who I am. I'm Vietnamese. I should be proud of it. Because I'll be honest with you, back in the day, I wasn't proud of my own culture at all. And the other thing I've got here is a mountain and explore, and a little tree down there. I'm always finding new adventures, challenging myself. So when a new challenge presents to me, I want to explore all those possibilities. I want to learn it from it. What can I achieve out of it? Because who knows, I could get a reputation out of it.
What do you reckon as well, like, you know, as a summary, where are you now? And for people that are trying to find themselves, because it's a difficult thing, a difficult world. We get thrown into this big world thinking that we're supposed to know what we're doing, having an idea of where we're heading. You and I, we're doing things.
That's right.
But we still don't know what the future's going to hold.
Exactly.
Who knows? How important, for people listening in as a summary, is it just to live in the moment?
It is. It's important. Like, this is what I used to think about my future so much. I was thinking 10 years ahead. I'm like, I'm going to build a house. I'm going to get married. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But really, I started winding the clock back and go, focus on what you do, achieve the best. And that's how I got top performer. And I was a top performer for Telstra before I left. I took it. I resigned because that wasn't something I wanted to do in the long run. Tried the bank. Yeah, wasn't myself because it just wasn't me.
Wasn't you, yeah.
And here I am now at a job that I'm enjoying so much. You just have to remember who you are as a person. Don't rush it. And this is for all the young people out there, And I know you've talked to me about it, When I was at the time at the stage, I want to go into schools. I want to talk to young people. I want to promote a message saying there's a life outside of it, because I didn't do an ATAR. So now it's called ATAR. Back then, the Queensland system was OP.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm now studying Diploma in Leadership Management, and also I'm going to be studying the Diploma in Business. And then I get to go to uni. But I've got all this life experience behind me. And I get to go in and I can actually pay my courses off. I haven't talked and brought it up to you much, But I know, just like I say to you, and I tell youth, you go through stuff, mate. Talk to people about.
Yeah.
Don't hold it against.
No.
And this is the thing. When I moved up here, I hold a massive grudge against my mum, to a point where I didn't talk to her for 3 years at all. I didn't want to see a bar of her. Even when I was a kid, when I worked at Ford, or when I was working, I want to go in my room. That's like my safe zone. I didn't want to get out of the room, because I knew if I go out there, it's either my sister's going to start an argument or something's going to happen that I don't want to be in. So I did, change myself to be away from that.
Like, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I was actually talking to someone about this last week. It was on, I think it was a 60-minute special, and it was back a couple of years back where they had that guy in Melbourne. I think it was in the city of Melbourne. He was doing skids in the car, and he ended up running.
He ended up
running over people on the pedestrian crossing.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that those people, they got hit by him and fortunately, tragically passed on, that they woke up that morning knowing that was going to happen.
Exactly.
And I think it's such an important message that to not be afraid of what people think of you.
Definitely.
Obviously, you've got to be very respectful in the way you go about things.
Definitely.
But be yourself, because you don't know what tomorrow will bring.
Have your core values. My values is trust, respect. You break one of my core values, don't think you're getting back. It's very hard for someone to earn my trust, because people have used that and taken advantage of it.
Yeah.
So that's why people now, I'm like, look, I've moved on. I don't talk about them, because what's it going to do? And this is the thing, and it's like monkeys, Don't get attached to it. And over my time, I've had a lot of people who have been in really bad scenarios, who's been domestic violence. This is the thing, because I listen to people who've been abused by their ex. And I think, from what my dad's done as well, it makes me scared to want to be in a relationship.
We've all gone through different scenarios.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not fair. Like, if you're using the mistrust in a relationship, it's not fair to put that mistrust on the new partner.
That's right.
Because if they've done nothing but love and be there for you, it's not right. And I think it's so important. Again, you got to leave things where they're meant to be left in the past.
Take it as a learning.
Take it as what you call a learning curve. Yeah. And then maybe take a bit of growth from it.
Definitely.
And then go from there, man.
And this is the thing I tell people is, you need to just pull yourself back. Have a bit of self-control. I used to not have self-control. I used to be the most pissed off bloke ever. Like, I was like a firecracker. Good example. You do something to me, I'll be off to the teacher straight away. Now, I don't think about it, And this is the thing, is because people kept bullying me. I'm like, am I like the school's pet or something? Like, you can pick on it. It's not easy going through that. Once you grow up, you understand. This is what my parents said to me. Once you grow up, you understand the situation.
It's true. It is actually true. Though.
Exactly. It is true. And now I understand what happened during my scenario and why my mum did what she did, and now I understand. But I'm still learning. And this is the thing people need to remember. And this is the thing, I work in a job on a casual basis where I work with younger people still in school, feel like bloody half my age. Well, not half my age, maybe 6 or 7 years younger than me. And I told them, I said, guys, let me just slow down, They're only paying you to do the job. You can put yourself out there, no worries, but they're only paying you for you to do the job. As long as you do your job, stick to the procedures, you're sweet.
Mate.
That's the way to go.
Mate, thank you so much for taking your time, brother.
Mate, you're getting sweaty there.
Mate, palms are sweaty, mum's spaghetti, as they say on the Eminem song. But no, seriously, man, I really appreciate you just giving us a bit of insight into voluntary work as a whole.
Yeah,
why it's so important just to put yourself out there and try things that maybe you wouldn't necessarily do on a normal day-to-day basis.
That's right.
The reward itself is not money. It's what you can gain within yourself and how you can give back to the community that we live in.
But the best thing is, and I wouldn't know, I was in the media. Didn't expect it. And I was the one that organised it.
There's all these different things that pop up you don't necessarily think would happen.
Oh, mate, it's a learning curve. Yeah. And it's great that I get to learn new skills every day. You never stop learning. And that's the important thing. You work as a team, and this is one thing. There's no I in team.
No.
And this is a thing, in the organisation part of
work as a collective whole.
That's right. But there's a lot of people who are set in their ways. And that's the thing. I don't like people that are set in their ways. You have to be able to adapt. And that's why I'm different in my role. And I adapt and make changes. If I don't like something, I'll just adapt to it to suit each person's needs. It's just like when you talk to someone. Adapt and suit their needs. And that's the important part.
Mate, no, honestly, man, appreciate you taking your time.
That's right. Appreciate it.
But, mate, people listening, this has been Season 3, Episode 15 of Couch in the Mind, clearing the mind one couch talk at a time. And today I had Jace Chandler. We went over the topic of volunteering. If you guys want to reach out to me, just have a look on my website, which is www.couchinthemind.com. Enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll speak to you guys soon. Catch you later. If you guys enjoyed this episode and you're after more Couch in the Mind content, feel free to check us out on Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, and many other audio platforms. And as always, guys, if you need anything, feel free to message me on the Couch in the Mind Facebook page. Thanks again for tuning in.